All right, good afternoon, everyone. I'm excited to have you here for our next Heroes Connect Military to Manufacturing Employer event. This week, we're featuring a company called Manitowoc. You may or may not have heard of them or their two brands, MGX and Aspen, but that's what we're here today for, is to learn more about them and how their cranes are a crucial part of building and moving the world around us. So, Heroes Make America is the premier military manufacturing program, and our goal is to not only connect you as a job seeker with employers who are actively looking to hire, but more importantly, we aim to help our military community better understand the manufacturing industry. So many folks don't realize just how great of a fit this industry is for our transitioning service members, veterans, and military spouses. So, manufacturing has a diverse set of job opportunities from production operations, quality assurance, maintenance, logistics, business functions. These companies have it all. So your talent is very much wanted and needed by these companies. Before we jump into today's event, let's review some quick housekeeping just to make sure that we're ready to roll. So this event is being recorded and will be sent out as part of a recap email. So please be sure you stay muted just so that we have a clean presentation. But just because you're muted doesn't mean that I don't want you to still be an active participant. We live in the chat box. So if you have any questions throughout the presentation, please feel free to drop it in the chat. We've got a team of folks here to answer your questions. Sorry about that. We have a team of folks here to answer questions throughout the presentation, but we'll be sure to revisit those questions during the Q&A at the portion or the after the event as well, in the Q&A portion of the event. So to get started, so our folks here with Manitowoc understand where you all are looking to be job searching, if you could pull up the chat box, drop in, the city, state, region that you are looking to job search in, throw that in there so these great folks can make sure to let you know if they've got some locations, where you are looking. So while you're doing that, for those of you who are not familiar with Heroes Make America, we are a DoD-approved skill bridge program that's open to transitioning service members, veterans, reservists, National Guardsmen, and military spouses. We do provide a variety of certification training, equipping our students with rewarding careers in the manufacturing and supply chain industry. So you can see here our program managers, the 3 training pathways that we have, which are manufacturing operations, industrial systems, and logistics. So I have also listed our upcoming class dates. We are starting back up January of 2025 with our next cohort. So if you are interested in the program, or maybe you have a friend who could benefit from our program, or maybe interested in our industries, I cannot talk today, interested in our industries, please share our information with them as they're transitioning out of the service. So that's all about Heroes Make America, but really we're here today to learn more about our featured company. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it on over to Ashley, who's the Director of HR for Manitowoc, MGX and Aspen. So Ashley, floor is all yours.
Thanks, Katie. Hi, everybody. My name is Ashley Barkdahl, and I'm the Director of HR for MGX Equipment Services, which is a subsidiary of Manitowoc. And I actually started with Manitowoc almost 20 years ago and joined the MGX and Aspen team after Manitowoc acquired them in 2021. And I do have some others on the call today with me. So joining me today are Joseph Fields and Heather Mon, both are HR representatives for MGX. Kelly Piper, who's the HR manager for Manitowoc, and Laura Jewell, who is an HR representative for Manitowoc. And we have a video about Manitowoc for anybody who doesn't know anything about Manitowoc. We wanted to start with a video that just gives you a little bit of an overview, and that can also be found on our YouTube site. So I'll let her play that a while.
Around the globe, major construction projects are either in the works or planned. Projects that will build the structures where people live, the factories where they work, and the infrastructure needed to support the global economy. One crane manufacturer is uniquely positioned to meet the lifting needs of these vital projects and ensure that the companies that undertake them have the tools needed to maximize their return on investment. That company is Manitowoc. With real performance, real quality and reliability, real return on investment, real agility, and real aftermarket support, Manitowoc is poised to build something real. We will accomplish this by being agile, which means building products for the world's changing needs. Our innovations allow cranes to do more with less, enabling our customers to be more productive while dramatically reducing project costs. We test our cranes rigorously to ensure the highest reliability and the greatest return on investment. Meeting the world's lifting needs requires a crane that stays on the job day after day, year after year. We support our customers with real aftermarket support from Manitowoc Crane Care and flexible financing options from Manitowoc Finance. A new day is dawning, one filled with opportunity and promise. One company is manufacturing the cranes to fulfill those needs. Manitowoc, build something real.
All right, so one nice thing that I like about working for Manitowoc is just the pride that we have in the products that we manufacture and distribute. So, if you've never really thought about cranes before or what they do, I hope that after watching that video, you start to really notice them when you're out in the world, because just driving down the road around here, we see them working on our infrastructure and other construction sites or bridges, road work. It's really seen in a lot of places that you may not have recognized before. But up on the screen now is just a little timeline about our company and kind of when we started and where we've come today. So in 1902, Manitowoc was founded in Manitowoc, Wisconsin as Dry Dock Company, and they started as a shipbuilding and repair facility. And then in 1925, our founders found opportunity for cranes and started building those as well. Over time, we have expanded and acquired other crane brands such as Paton, Grove, Shuttle Lift, and National Cranes. And then recently in 2021, we acquired the crane business from H&E and Aspen Equipment. And that business is now called MGX Equipment Services. And that focus brings us closer to the customer and meeting their needs, not only from the manufacturing perspective on the Manitowoc side, but into our aftermarket. MGX Equipment is under the Manitowoc umbrella, and we are going to talk more about them as we go throughout the presentation. So here at Manitowoc, we do live by our 4 core values. We do what is right, we work as a team, we deliver results, and we are role models. We do work in a safe and environmentally responsible way. We respect others and behave ethically. We also deliver quality work, and we help each other out to meet the customer's needs. And one thing, even us on the call today, we're in a chat working together as a team because we have, the same goals in mind, and we really do put our teams first and collaborate and support each other and foster that open two-way communication. We do what we say that we will do, and we always are trying to continuously improve and innovate. We also want to strive to exceed our customers' expectations. It's another reason why we made the acquisitions of MGX and Aspen, so that we can far exceed what our customers' expectations are of us, from manufacturing through the afterlife of the product. Being a role model, we do celebrate successes, we learn from our failures, and we try to approach every day with that can-do attitude, but we also like to have fun while we work. Next slide, please. So safety is our #1 priority. We do want our employees to go home safely each day. We believe that every injury is preventable and that safety is everyone's responsibility. And just to give you a little bit of an idea of what we do design, manufacture, and distribute a diversified line of cranes, from our crawler mounted lattice boom cranes, which we sell under the Manitowoc brand name. In the videos that you saw earlier, those are the red cranes that you see. We also have top slewing and self-erecting tower cranes, which we sell under the Patan brand name, and then our mobile hydraulic cranes, which we sell under Grove, Shuttle Lift, and National Crane brand names. And there are some photos there across the bottom that shows you each of those product lines. And our crane products are used in a wide variety of applications throughout the world. I did mention some of them earlier, but we have the energy production and distribution markets, as well as utility, petrochemical, and industrial infrastructure, such as road, bridge, and airport construction, as well as commercial and residential construction. We also sell our entire product offering and full line of services in most regions of the world. But moreover, we report under a geographic reporting structure so that it's better aligned with the location of our customers and the unique market dynamics of each region. We are not just a manufacturing company. With our aftermarket services, we're also able to provide that customer care and innovation. So our aftermarket services of MGX Equipment and Aspen. MGX Equipment is one of the largest crane dealers in the US for Manitowoc and Grove brand names, and we serve a variety of our end market customers. We provide nationwide field sales and service teams, and also provide crane rentals, new sales, used sales, aftermarket parts, service, remanufacturing, and structural repair services. And we also have crane certification training and 13 branches across the US. Aspen Equipment is then a division of MGX Equipment Services that provides a lot of the same things that MGX does, but we do add in the industrial equipment and truck upfitting, which serves a wide array of customers in the construction business, mining and railroad, tree care, and utility end markets. And with Aspen Equipment, we have 5 locations. Next, there's just a map that shows you where we're located at. This is for MGX and Aspen. Just keep in mind there are our manufacturing and remanufacturing locations under Manitowoc, which are located in Shady Grove, Pennsylvania, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and Bauxite, Arkansas. And then our locations across the US for MGX and Aspen, we have Billings, Montana, Salt Lake City, Utah, Phoenix, Arizona, Denver, Colorado, Dallas and Houston, Texas, Baton Rouge and Belle Chase, Louisiana, Birmingham, Alabama, Aiken, South Carolina, Winston-Salem, North Carolina, Norfolk, Virginia, and Baltimore, Maryland. We do have a new branch for MGX opening soon in Nashville, Tennessee. And then our Aspen locations include Lee Summit, Missouri, which is just outside of Kansas City, Omaha, Nebraska, Ankeny and Davenport, Iowa, and Bloomington, Minnesota. So I saw in the chat earlier, we had a lot of people from a lot of different locations across the US. So hopefully that, caught some people's attention, because we do really have something, all over the US for people. And then we have a snapshot of some of our current job openings. You can see on the majority of our slides, we have our QR code where you can go out to our website and view what job openings we have. You're able to.
Julie said, if it fits, you can take it.
You can see that we have locations across the US where you can actually search by and see what's in your location that you might be interested in. But you will find at the MGX and Aspen locations that there will be a shop crane technician trainee position, shop crane technician and field crane technicians posted across all of our branches. We are always looking for crane technicians and shop technicians. And then special to our Aspen team is our install tech, or our upfit technicians that help build those various types of trucks and upfit them to our customers' needs. We also have branch management positions, including branch manager, service manager. We also have service admins. If you could maybe hop on over to the next slide. Talks a little bit more about our service admins, product support, sales reps. Those are all within our MGX and Aspen realms. And then we do have a few positions for our Shady Grove team here in Pennsylvania. We are looking for a senior engineer in control systems and a lead development ops application architect. So we really have a wide variety of different things out there. I think there's close to maybe 150 jobs that are posted on our website all across the US. There's also an option for you to drag and drop your resume on our website to see if your skill sets match up with anything that we have available. And you heard me mention some training opportunities when we do onboard new technicians, and the majority of our other employees as well have the access to our USA training centers. We have 2 locations, one in Shady Grove, Pennsylvania, one in Manitowoc, Wisconsin. We have 9 trainers, and they provide classes for a variety of our product lines. We have 9 classrooms, 3 dedicated simulator or test bench rooms. We have a GMK crane and 2 tower cranes that we also allow students to kind of, train on as well. In 2022, we had over 860 students go through our classes, and we run around approximately 250 classes annually. And at the beginning of 2024, we actually implemented our Quick Start Learning Plan, because as we have been trying to hire technicians, we have found that crane technicians are not just sitting around waiting to come on board and be employed. They're already employed, and we are trying to focus our training on people who are interested in becoming a crane technician, or maybe have the basic skill sets, but they just need to learn a little bit more about cranes, or kind of decide where they want to go with their career. So our Quick Start program includes training on all computer and load indicator systems, software tools for calibrations, adjustments, flashing, and troubleshooting. And it's a combination of in-class and supplemental e-learning materials that help support that training. And it's about 18 months. And again, it just gives that kind of introductory level technician that broader knowledge that they're going to need for Grove or Manitowoc cranes. And then, also gives them the knowledge that they need to be safe, productive, and revenue generating. If they decide to then transition into the Master Tech Learning Plan, there are 4 additional classes required to complete any Master Tech training path. And on the next slide, we'll kind of look at what that Master Tech Learning Plan is like. Initially, that training plan is in-depth to develop you into a product expert from the ground up. So you'll focus on detailed training of all intricacies and options for the product line to develop you into that subject matter expert. You're typically looking at around 3 to 5 years to complete all of that coursework. But it does include the curriculum for one single product line. You'll learn the oldest control systems to the newest control systems. There's different software tools for calibrations, adjustments, flashing, and troubleshooting. And if there's ever, any type of updates to the product software, because we don't necessarily use the same software from, the conception to the end, we're constantly doing those innovations and coming up with new things and staying up to date with technology. So as that occurs, we do have to go back and just kind of do a refresher course on whatever that new stuff is. So we do have some technicians who master multiple product lines, so that's even an option. And if that location that you're working in, allows for that, then that's an option for you as well. So some reasons to join Manitowoc. We do have an entire department that focuses just on providing the government the equipment that they need, which we call Grove Defense. We sell commercial cranes to the Air Force, Navy Corps of Engineers, the Navy, the Corps of Engineers, the Israeli Defense Force, and many more. And the photos that are pictured below are actually of a crane that we designed and built for the Army and National Guard. Another reason to join Manitowoc, we do have a veteran employee resource group that we call Verge. And that's another reason why Heather and Joseph are on here today. Heather and Joseph are actually the co-chairs for that employee resource group. And that group is for our veteran employee community that is focused on their professional development, championing veteran inclusion, building a strong community, and giving back to our veteran employees. Throughout the year, we will hold various meetings and outreach opportunities to support our growing veteran population. And with Verge, our mission statement is empowering veterans and fostering a culture of inclusion by building a strong community, providing a space for veterans to connect, share experiences, and build camaraderie. Also supporting professional development. We want to equip our veterans with resources and mentorship to navigate the civilian workplace and thrive in their careers. Also championing veteran inclusion. We educate our colleagues about the value veterans bring and advocating for policies that support their success. We also give back to our veteran community. We want to identify and support causes that are important to veterans and their families. And how we meet our mission statement goals is by building that community and network. We hold quarterly meetings. We network with people outside of the office or department or branch, depending on where you're located at. We also share personal experiences with each other in a safe space. We also offer empowerment and growth. We learn and develop soft skills by connecting with mentors and offering to be a mentor for others. And we receive and provide necessary feedback from our peers. We also have that connection. We're publishing a quarterly Verge newsletter. We have an internal social media page called Viva Engage. It used to be called Yammer. But we use that to stay informed and share information with each other. And as an employee of Manitowoc, you would be eligible for a number of benefits that we offer. We have a competitive total rewards package that includes benefits and 401k that begin on day one of employment. We provide continuing education and training opportunities. We also have a tuition reimbursement program for those who would qualify. We have vacation and holiday pay, as well as paid parental leave. We offer team building, engagement events, and community involvement. We have a scholarship program for our employees' children, and much, much more. So I have introduced you to our team and have posted our QR code on our screens today, as well as behind us. Not sure which way I'm pointing there, but my contact information is listed here, as well as Joseph, Kelly, and Laura. Feel free to visit our site and see what other opportunities we have out there and kind of read the job descriptions a little bit more in depth so that you can see, what those positions would be responsible for. But at this time, if there are any questions, we would love to answer them for you.
Sure, awesome. Thank you, Ashley. Let me come back on so you have me as well. So if you all have any questions, please feel free to drop them into the chat and we'll answer those questions as they come in. But I actually had a few to start us off just because the range and types of positions. What would you say is an average application to hire timeline, since a lot of these folks are transitioning out of the military, maybe they're not available to work till January, February, March. What's a typical time frame that they should anticipate?
I would say that we can be pretty flexible. There are some that, might be a quicker fill, but we also, if we have somebody who is interested and meets those qualifications, we don't want to rule them out. So if we have to wait a few months because they're transitioning or they need that accommodation, then we will, we're open and honest about that with our hiring managers, and we try to work with our candidates on that. We've had that recently where we've had people apply and they're either relocating or, maybe they have something else going on, and we've held on a few months or, however long we need to. But on average, I would say it can take, if you apply, go through the interview process, depending on which position it is, it may have a more extensive interview process or an interview team involved. So it can take anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks, I would say, to get through the entire process, do the pre-employment screenings, and some people may have to give a 2 weeks notice. So we try to be cognizant of that as well. So it can move quickly and it can move slower if we need to wait on certain things.
I think that's helpful. And even just knowing that working with them on their timeline is an option, that
Mhm.
can be explored depending on the position. So thank you for that.
Mhm.
I have another question in the chat regarding updates on opportunities at a specific location. So I'm guessing the question is more in lines of, instead of going through the website, every week, a couple times a week, is there a way for them to be notified if opportunities are available at a certain location?
Let's see, at one point, and the team on here may know as well, but at one point I thought we did have something where if they're signing up, they could get email reminders about certain things. Like if something at a location opens up, it's part of the application process, I think. Was at one point. I don't know, Kelly, Laura, do you know?
I'm gonna have to test it out because I'm not sure. It's been a while since I've done it. But I definitely will look into that.
I'm bringing it up real quick just to see. The only other thing that I can tell you is that if you do have a location that you're interested in and you don't want to go back and look, you can maybe reach out separately and we can put you on our list so that we can kind of keep track of that as well. And if we do have something that opens up, we can put that person into the candidate pool to be contacted later.
And of
But
course, sorry, Ashley.
go
And of
ahead.
course, you're always welcome to forward your resume with a message for specific locations you're looking at. And Joseph and Laura are very good at keeping in touch with skilled people interested in specific locations.
Mhm. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that whenever they register on our site, that there's a spot that they can ask to be updated on those. I haven't gone in and like applied for anything recently. We used to test it out every once in a while, but I haven't done that lately.
Ashley, can I add something to that as well?
Mhm.
I think when you all also upload, when you go to our careers page and you upload your resume, it'll also give you recommendations based off of your resume once you upload it. So even if you don't see a role right now, you may get some notifications or about roles that you may be a fit for.
Thank you, Joseph, for mentioning that. And then I would add to that, sometimes we don't know what we're qualified for. So it can resume and have it tell you what you might be qualified for as well. Let's see, I have some more questions already in the chat. Can one of you talk a little bit more about, what that position is, maybe roles and responsibilities, so folks, if they are interested more like in a health and safety role, what they might be anticipating?
Which one was it for? I'm sorry, it cut out a little bit there.
The EHS manager, the one in Houston, someone specified. I think it's the one in Houston.
So that position has been filled as of this morning. So, but that is our environmental health and safety manager. So that person would be responsible for the safety of and the safety management of all of our branch locations across MGX.
Perfect. And I think someone else had mentioned that it had been open for a little while, and that must be why, because someone was just pending getting into that
Yeah.
position. Perfect. Let's see. I have another question related to if they're interested in more than one position, maybe at the same location, maybe not at the same location. Should they go ahead and apply to all positions that they're interested in?
Mhm. Yes, apply to all of them that you're interested in.
Perfect. And I would assume there's different hiring managers, maybe for different functional areas. So going to each of them.
Yeah, it depends. Like if they're interested in a technician role, it's probably the same hiring manager, but if it's branch manager, service admin, that type of thing at the same branch, it could be a different hiring manager.
So yes, so James, the answer to your question is apply to all at that location that you are interested and qualified for. Another thing that I saw on there were several, supply chain logistics, parts coordinator, purchasing, that kind of stuff. Can you talk a little bit more about what does that logistics portion of the company look like and types of positions that folks might be considering as part of that?
Sure. So the parts coordinators, they are basically at the parts counter and kind of coordinate between the product support sales reps and the customers. They kind of maintain the inventory at the branch, help order parts. They might help sell some of the parts if we have a customer just come straight into the branch. Sometimes we have customers just come directly to the branch because they need a part. They don't need anybody else to fix it. They just need a part. So they'll come into the branch. The parts coordinators are there at the counter and they'll help them with that purchase. So the logistics of it, they're kind of maintaining the inventory levels and ordering things as needed for, to make sure that the branch is stocked with the parts that they need.
So that works for me. Let me see if there was other questions in the chat. I do have one. So regarding overseas opportunities, they're asking specifically, are there any additional qualifications or training for those open positions? But I think another question would be, does your team hire for the overseas position, or is that also another team that coordinates those positions? It's kind of a twofold.
So the overseas opportunities, you would really just have to look at what the qualifications are on the job description. They may have additional qualifications or training. It just depends on the product lines or the position that it is. If it's a technician and it's in Italy or in France, they may be working on pitons or, things like that. So it could be a different skill set because that's really up to that location and what skills they're looking for at that time. And our team here in the States do not hire for those. That would be the team in that particular country.
Okay, thank you for that. I think that's most of the questions in the chat up to this point. So I do have one. I actually was hoping that Joseph maybe could come on. I know your prior service and maybe manufacturing this realm was not what you were originally looking for. Do you mind telling us a little bit of your story of going into this company and maybe some skills that translated from your military experience?
Absolutely. I in fact, at the Heroes Make America career event that we did on the 1st, I'd mentioned this. It was kind of like the anniversary of me finding and meeting Ashley and the team at MGX. I almost didn't even come to the career fair because it was manufacturing and I'm not a manufacturer of anything. And so, but I thought, now's a good time for me to get back in the groove of talking about myself and getting prepared to interview with people. So it was a good chance for me to get out there again. And it turned out that I met the team who would ultimately hire me, and that was a year ago. So my first piece of advice is to take advantage of any opportunity that you have to connect and network with people, especially right now, because you're in a position where it's not dire that you find a position. Like you're not going to miss out on paying your bills because you're still active duty. So take this time to get that resume pulled together, get the LinkedIn pulled together, and network with people. When I came onto the team, it was a shot in the dark almost, because I was coming from tech recruiting, and Ashley had mentioned that we don't have a recruiting position, but would you be interested in an HR position? Very closely related. It's all HR, so absolutely I was open. So that leads me to my second point is you may have an idea of where you think you want to be in your career. Like this is what you were heading for immediately, but then you never know what that other opportunity could look like. So keep your eyes and ears open to other opportunities that may not sound like it's you, but it could be. You just never know. And thirdly, I would say lean in on that military background. What I brought with me was the integrity, the trust and the teamwork, being a role model, all those things, which Heather and I kind of mirrored with our Verge mission statement, is stuff that we carried over from the military. And that's one of the things that really stands out for MGX Manitowoc and Aspen. It's easy to be that way because we have a team of people that we enjoy being with. So, you know, being role models and having that integrity, the core values that we learned in the military, I brought into this job as well. So it's been a pretty easy transition for me. I've been out of the Navy for a while. But when I got out, we didn't have all these resources. I mean, there's so much virtual, this, that, and the next, that it makes it easier. You don't have to go to these career fairs just in your local area. You can meet companies from all over the country, all over the world. So take advantage of those tools and those resources and be ready to make that move.
Awesome. Thank you, Joseph. While I have you, I know Ashley gave the overview of the Verge. Is there anything else you'd like to add in terms of the program and the support for the veterans that you all have, and you know the impact that it's having on the team and all the folks that are there?
Well, we just we just launched it this year in July. My colleague Heather, she doesn't attend our virtual career fairs with us, so but Heather and I work hand in hand to get this going. The resources are there because we want to make sure that we help our veteran employees to continue to have the needs that they have met through professional development, food insecurities even. So it's not just at work, it's outside in the community as well. You know, some of the veterans that work for us may have food insecurities or home insecurities or things like that. So we want to make sure that their life outside of work is as not as stressful when they bring it into work. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. If their home life is great, they're going to be great employees. So let's do what we can to make sure that what happens outside of work is working for them and they have the resources that they need to be good employees, as well as have a good house at home as well. So Verge is super important. Heather, I don't know if you want to chime in and mention anything. She works extremely hard on this as well. And it's just been a labor of love for both of us.
Yeah, I can just add in, mirroring what Joseph said. Just getting started in July. To date, we've had 2 employees reach out for some additional resources that they need for some PTSD and some mental health work. And then we do have 1 veteran right now that is facing a major health crisis. So I am helping him find some additional resources as he kind of works through that diagnosis. So when Joseph said that we are here for our employees, not only at work, but we also are here for outside of work, we absolutely believe in that. So hopefully we can find something we can help you out with.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you both. I think that's important to be able to support our veteran community once they go into the civilian sector. So love the work you're doing. I'll ask all of you this question. So if any of you have maybe any pieces of advice for our transitioning military as they're going into their interview process or going into the civilian sector in general, any advice that you would give them to help out with this process?
Oh, go ahead.
Not all-
Go ahead,
Laura.
Joseph, I'm gonna let you go.
So one of the things, I to this day I will never forget Joseph's interview. Well, the first time we met him, the outgoing. Okay, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to talk to any one of us. We're here to answer questions. We're here to help. We're here to try and find the right job for you and the right person for us. So don't ever, think, okay, well, I have to like be very quiet or sit back and observe. We're not going to learn from you if you don't let us know who you are and what you're interested in doing. So don't ever be afraid to talk to us. I think that's the main thing, and be engaging. I think that's really helpful. It lets us get to know you guys, and it gives you guys a chance to know us. So yeah, that's my advice.
And to piggyback on that, Laura, you're absolutely right. There's nothing wrong with talking about yourself. it's not cocky. It's just letting us know, because your resume can only tell us so much. We want to engage with you, like Laura was saying. And, you know, I'd mentioned earlier that LinkedIn page, refreshing your resume, practicing on interviewing, like those things are going to be really important, because again, you have to be ready to talk and engage. And you know you better than we do, so let that part shine. And be open to feedback. I think that is one of the things that has helped me over my career in everything, professionally especially. Be open to feedback. You don't know everything. I don't know everything, but there's somebody out there that you can pick information from. So be open to those resources and that feedback from other people. Lean in on your team. I know that there are a lot of TAP classes out there on base. So, use those resources to your advantage, and make sure you talk to Laura, talk to the folks with HMA. Like, they want to help you. So there's no such thing as too many resources. And then lastly, I would say, apply. Even if you don't think it's the right role for you, apply. Don't be afraid to be rejected. Lord knows, when I was looking for my position last year, I got way more rejection emails than I did acceptance emails. So don't worry about rejection. There's a lot of people looking. So just keep your head up and stay the course.
I will just kind of piggyback off of that. There are some positions that we are looking for specific skill sets for. So make sure that if you do meet the qualifications of the job, that your resume reflects that. Don't be generic with your resume. Make sure that you are detailed in what your skill sets are, and make sure that you do meet the minimum qualifications of the job that you're applying for, because that is a requirement. So, there you might be rejected a little bit more if you're not meeting the qualifications, because you do have to meet that minimum skill set that's on there. But you'll see a lot of things that say preferred, and it just means this, we prefer you to have this, but if you don't, that's not a deal breaker. So, there are things that are trainable, but there are things that aren't. But if you apply and don't get that job, there's always room for improvement, or there might be more training that needs to happen. But doesn't mean that you can't go get that and then come back and try again.
You all for that advice. I think that's important for them to hear as they're going into this process. Kelly, you actually just answered a question in the chat. So do you mind coming on as that piece of advice, maybe as a cover letter? Is that something that they should be including with their resume when they're applying? Oh, you're muted, Kelly.
Yes, a cover letter, of course, isn't a mandatory piece of information, but it's your opportunity to make it a unique application, to really show your personality, as well as some skill sets that aren't entirely captured possibly in the resume details. So although it's not required, I highly recommend it. It's a great opportunity to make your application to that specific position very personalized.
Perfect. Thank you, Kelly, for that. I think some of our folks are always on the fence. Do I not? It's never a bad thing, right? To give them a little more background of you and your experience. So thank you all for that advice. Like I said, I think that's helpful for them to hear. That is most of the questions that I had, all the questions from the chat. The only other one I got privately sent to me was, do you all have any remote or hybrid opportunities? You guys are located all over the country, but what if they're not at one of your locations? Is there remote or hybrid opportunities?
Those are very few and far between. A lot of our positions require you to be at a certain branch location, because you'll be working hands-on with the product. Where that varies is our field technicians. They may be responsible for a certain territory. So there is some flexibility with that, but it is close to a branch location at least. Joseph was an exception, because we do kind of support the branches that are all over the US, but so his role, he doesn't necessarily have to be located at a specific location. I don't sit at a physical branch for MGX, but I sit at the manufacturing location for Shady Grove. But I support the MGX, community. So, if you're looking at branch management or being a service manager or something like that, you have to be at that branch. If you're looking to be an engineer, or some of the other positions we have posted with Manitowoc, you have to be at the facility. So, there are certain ones where we can get away with a work from home or a hybrid type thing, but the majority of them are not like that.
Thank you for clarifying that. I know that sometimes is a question,
Mhm.
and which is good to know. For the field service techs, do you all provide the vehicle and all the items for them to go out to the locations?
So we provide a field service truck, tools. It's kind of a combination. We do have a tool reimbursement program, but they are responsible for purchasing their own tools. There are some that the company may provide, but it's usually the tech that's responsible for that. We provide them some reimbursement for it.
Awesome. Well, thank you all again. I think that's covered all of our questions. So unless anyone has any last pieces of advice that they'd like to share with our participants here today, we can go ahead and wrap it up. So anything else you all want to share about the company or any advice before we close it out?
Stay the course, keep your head up, and you'll find that right position.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you everyone for coming today.
Well, thank you to Team Manitowoc. As usual, thank you. Such great information, and I love that you have so many locations, and I think it'd be a great fit for a lot of our service members. So thank you to our team, and then for our participants here today, connect with these folks. We have their email addresses. You have them. Send them an email, connect with them, talk about the different positions that are available. Let them know that you applied. Let them know that you went to this Heroes Connect event. All of that is super important in the process of getting hired. So make sure you connect with these folks, follow them on LinkedIn, follow Heroes Make America on LinkedIn while you're there. And then of course, continue the course. Like Joseph said, keep your head up, keep applying. You all will find something. We will continue the show next week. We have Smurfit Westrock joining us on November 20th at 3 p.m. Eastern. So thank you all for coming today. We'll see you next time. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you all.
Thank you all.